Hello, I'm Miko, and this is Meekie, and we want to help color the world through music and piano. We hope to teach you the basics of music so you can get started on your lifelong musical journey. If you don't have the time or resources for traditional lessons, let us help you. We believe there are many benefits to learning, playing, and creating music on the piano or digital keyboard. We want to make it fun for kids. Studies have shown that playing the piano can make you smarter. It can raise your IQ, increase your focus and attention, promote balance and relaxation, boost your pattern recognition, enhance spatial organization, sharpen your cognitive abilities, improve your verbal intelligence and executive functioning, and increase your self-esteem. The purpose. The purpose of Booklet Module 1, The Notes, is to introduce you and your child to the very basics of learning to read music notes and where to play them on the piano in a fun and colorful manner. We hope that with our resources, videos, and colorful characters, you'll be able to engage your child and demonstrate where the notes on the treble and bass clefs correspond to the piano keyboard. With practice and time, just like any other language, your child will be able to string along notes to play their favorite songs. Additional modules will provide further musical understanding and help your child progress musically, both physically and mentally. If you do have the time and resources, we highly encourage you to find a traditional music teacher that is a good fit for your child. It's all about being fun and educational. Recommendations. A few things before we begin. 1. This is ideal for parents intending to assist their children on a regular basis, 2 to 4 times per week with a half hour to an hour per learning or practice session. 2. A piano is not necessary. If one isn't practical for your living or financial situation, we recommend a digital piano or a digital keyboard that has 88 keys and is weighted. Number 3. For module number 1, the notes, a less expensive 61 or 76 key digital piano keyboard will work just to get started, but isn't recommended for future modules. 4. Age 6 or older tends to be a great starting point for children. 5. It's never too late to learn, but the earlier one starts music on the piano keyboard, the greater the lasting effects on the developing brains. 6. If your child shows considerable interest and enthusiasm, we highly recommend finding a suitable piano teacher. 7. Visit our website www.learnpianoweb.com for news and updates. Get social with us at facebook.com/learnpianoweb. The cognitive benefits. Studies have shown that the use of both hands while playing the piano can stimulate many areas in the left and right hemispheres of the brain and help communication between the two hemispheres by increasing the corpus callosum, the link between the two. Our cognitive theory. We believe that since we're an 85 to 95% right-handed society, that we may be more left-brain society since our bodies are neurally connected to the opposite side of the brain. Developing left-hand dexterity and artistic expression may help to stimulate more regions of the right brain hemisphere, developing a more functioning brain. Our left brain hemisphere is connected to the right side of the body, and our right brain hemisphere is connected to the left side of the body. In generality, our left brain is responsible for logical reasoning, sequencing of events, linear processing, mathematics, and language. And our right brain hemisphere is responsible for creative thoughts, music and art interpretations, imagination, spatial perception, and abstract reasoning. Our neural theory. Playing the piano may help to stimulate more neural areas of the left and right hemispheres of the brain. This will help to naturally boost your brain powers, all through the fun of music. Proper posture and hand position. It is important to start and play with proper posture and hand wrist positions. This will ensure you play effectively and will also lessen muscle fatigue and reduce the possibility of developing carpal tunnel syndrome. When you're sitting at the piano, you want your back straight and you want to slightly lean forward. You want to sit on the front half of the bench and your arms hang relaxed from the shoulders. Your knees will be slightly under the piano and your feet flat on the ground. Proper hand position. Curve your hands as if holding a tennis ball, touching with your fingertips. Your wrist should be relaxed and level with your hand. Your thumb and index fingers should make the shape of a C. The keys. Middle C. Middle C, or C4, is the note between the treble clef and the bass clef. It also represents the fourth C from the left on a traditional 88-key piano, and is often used to center the student on the bench. 88 keys. Most traditional pianos and some digital keyboards will have a total of 88 keys, 52 white and 36 black. Other digital keyboards will have 76, 61, or 49 keys. Here we have a traditional upright piano. Here's middle C, highlighted in blue on common pianos and digital keyboards. On an 88-key keyboard, 76, 61, and 49. On an 88-key keyboard, middle C is the 24th white key from the left. On a 76-key keyboard, it is the 20th white key from the left. And on a 61-key keyboard, it's the 15th. And on a 49-key keyboard, it's the 15th as well. The music staff, the piano or grand staff. In Western music, a series of 5 lines and 4 spaces between lines determine the pitch of a note. Read from left to right, the staff consists of various music symbols that indicate when and how to play. There are 2 stays, which is staff for plural, combined with a brace typically found in piano music. The piano staff, also known as a grand staff, consists of 2 series of 5 lines and 4 spaces, the treble clef and the bass clef. The treble clef are the top bars, and the bass clef are the bottom bars. Within the bars are 5 lines. And within those bars there are 4 spaces. Each of the lines and spaces indicate a specific note and where on the piano to play. Notes are represented by C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. There are many components and symbols within sheet music to guide the performer. In Module 1, the notes, we'll stick to the basics to just get you started. Here's what the symbols and components at the beginning of a typical sheet of music represent. Here, we'll take a closer look at what the symbols mean at the beginning of a sheet music. We start off with a brace, which connects the treble clef with the bass clef. The treble clef. Notes are typically played with the right hand on the upper staff. The bass clef. Notes are typically played with the left hand on the lower staff. Tempo. The relative speed or pace of music described in words, typically in Italian. Tempo. The number of beats per minute. Key signature. Which notes are to be played higher or lower than the natural note throughout piece, sharps here or flats. Time signature. The number of beats per measure, the top portion, and the duration of each beat, the bottom portion. The basic notes. All notes on the staff, lines and spaces, are represented by the first 7 letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Middle C represents the note between the treble clef and the bass clef, and is close to the middle of an 88-key piano. Meet our colorful friends who will be helping out. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. The treble clef notes. Starting from middle C, highlighted in blue on the keyboard, the notes on the treble clef increase in pitch as they move up higher on the staff. Notes that are above or below the last lines on the staff are represented with a line or a ledger through it, similar to middle C4 and A5. Here, we'll isolate several keys on the piano to show you the notes on the treble clef. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And here are the ledger lines that help to identify notes above or below the staff. The bass clef notes. Starting from middle C, highlighted in blue on the keyboard, the notes on the bass clef lower the pitch as they move down on the staff. Notes that are above or below the last lines on the staff are represented with a line or a ledger through it, similar to middle C4 and E2. Again, we'll isolate several keys to show you the notes on the bass clef. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And here are the ledger lines that help to identify notes above or below the staff. The keys, the 12th key pattern. The piano is represented by a series of a 12 key block, 7 white, 2 and 3 black, that repeat along the keyboard. Moving key to key is in either whole or half steps. Moving to the right raises the pitch, while moving left lowers the pitch. The 12th key pattern. 7 white, 2 and 3 black. 7 white keys, and a group of 2 black and 3 black keys. 2 black and 3 black keys. Notice the gap between E and F. Here's an 88 key standard piano. The notes become higher as you move to the right or up the keyboard, and the notes become lower as you move to the left or down the keyboard. And here's the 12 key pattern that repeats. Seven white, 2 and 3 black. Whole and half steps. Moving key to key is in whole and half steps. Moving to the right raises the pitch, while moving left lowers the pitch. Let's take a look at some whole steps. Now let's take a look at some half steps. Music melodies often stay within a certain key signature, or modes, which will be discussed in later modules. To express notes outside of this pattern, a sharp or flat is used to raise or lower the note from its intended key. This is a sharp, which raises the note a half step, and this is a flat, which lowers the note a half step. Notice that C sharp is the same key as D flat, and D sharp is the same key as E flat, and F sharp is the same key as G flat, and G sharp is the same key as A flat, and A sharp is the same key as B flat. Moving up or down one key changes the pitch a half step. White to black, black to white, and E to F and B to C. When moving from white to white or black to black, with a key in between, you're moving a whole step. Although B and C and E and F are considered half steps, they represent a full note change on the staff. Here's how we'll represent whole steps and half steps. Half step, C to C sharp or D flat. Whole step, C to D. Half step, C sharp or D flat to D. Whole step, C sharp or D flat to D sharp or E flat. Half step, D to D sharp or E flat. Whole step, D to E. Half step, D sharp or E flat to E. Whole step, D sharp or E flat to F. Half step, E to F. Whole step, E to F sharp or G flat. Half step, F to F sharp or G flat. Whole step, F to G. Half step, F sharp or G flat to G. Whole step, F sharp or G flat to G sharp or A flat. Half step, G to G sharp or A flat. Whole step, G to A. Half step, G sharp or A flat to A. Whole step, G sharp or A flat to A sharp or B flat. Half step, A to A sharp or a B flat. Whole step, A to B. Half step, A sharp or B flat to B. Whole step, A sharp or B flat to C. Half step, B to C. Whole step, B to C sharp or D flat. Let's take a look at the notes on the treble clef. Moving to the right on the piano raises the note on the staff, which then raises the pitch. Blue key is middle C. Now, let's take a look at the notes on the bass clef. Moving to the left on the piano lowers the note on the staff, which then lowers the pitch. Blue key is middle C. Note duration. The duration or length of each note, or how long it's played, depends on the tempo or speed of the music, and not by seconds. However, the division of each note in comparison to the whole, half, quarter, eighth, or 16th note is the same. These are the most common note durations and their names: whole, half, quarter, eighth, and 16th. 32nd and 64th notes are uncommon in popular music, but they do exist. In 4/4 timing, which we'll discuss later, there are 4 beats per measure and the quarter note is 1 beat. Here, I'll count the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Here, I'll count the beats while the female voice sounds the duration of each note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Rests, which are silent durations or pauses in music, are also of the same length and division. In all tempos and time signatures, whole notes and whole rests count the same, half notes and half rests count the same, and so on. These are the most common rest durations and their names. You'll find a lot of these in popular music: whole, half, quarter, eighth, and 16th. Let's take a look at a chart that compares notes and rests and how many beats they get in a measure in 4/4 timing, which again is 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note, represented by a 4, gets the beat. In 4/4 timing, the whole note lasts 4 beats per measure. The half note lasts 2 beats per measure. The quarter note receives 1 beat per measure. The eighth note lasts a half of a beat per measure, and the 16th note lasts a quarter of a beat per measure. Take a look at this note duration tree and see how each note is divided into shorter durations. A whole note has the same duration as 2 half notes, which then is the same duration as 4 quarter notes, 8 eighth notes, and 16 16th notes. And the same applies to rests. Whole rests equals 2 half rests, 4 quarter rests, 8 eighth rests, and 16th rests. And this apparently applies to flowers as well. Whole equals 2 halves, 4 quarters, 8 eighths, and 16 16ths. Time signature. Time signature, also known as meter signature, notates the number of beats per measure and which note duration receives the beat. Time signatures are placed at the beginning of the music piece, but can change throughout the music. Let's take a close look at time signature. At the beginning of music, you'll find 2 numbers on the bass and treble clef. The bars that make up the staffs are called measures, and they help to organize all of the notes and symbols. The top number indicates how many beats per measure, and the bottom number tells you which note duration receives a beat. Here are other popular note durations for a beat. These are half notes, eighth notes, and of course, the quarter note. Here are some popular time signatures found in various styles of music, including pop, western, polka, blues, marches, jigs, rhythm and blues, minuets, orchestral, and more. 4/4 is considered common time, which also can be represented with this symbol. Cut time, which is 2/2 time, can be represented with this symbol. Here we have a half note as 1 beat, 3/2, and 4/2. Quarter note is 1 beat. We have 2/4, 3/4, and 5/4. And where we have an eighth note as one beat, we have 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 9/8, and 12/8. Again, these are just the popular time signatures found in popular music. Let's take a look at notes that have stems. Notes with stems can point up or down. Notes below the middle line usually point up, and those above the middle line usually point down. Notes with flags, eighth or shorter notes, can be combined with a beam. Here's an eighth note. We have a note head, the stem, and the flag. And we'll combine 3/8 notes with a beam. There are many possible variations of connected notes. Here we have a dotted note, and we'll explain what that means later. And this line represents the second flag within a 16th note. Notes can be combined with a beam, stems up or stems down, and in many different durations. Here we have 2/8 notes combined, 4 16th notes combined, and 1/8 note combined with 2 16th notes. Note and rest durations. Following is an illustration of how each note duration symbol compares with its corresponding rest duration symbol. Although notes can be combined with a beam, rests remain separated. In 4/4 timing, we have a whole note and a whole rest, 2 half notes and 2 half rests, 4 quarter notes and 4 quarter rests, 8 eighth notes and 8 eighth rests, and 16 16th notes and 16 16 rests. Here's a combination of different note durations and their corresponding rest durations in 4/4 timing. Half note, quarter note, 2 eighth notes, a quarter note, 2 eighth notes, 2 16th notes combined with an eighth note, and a quarter note. A dotted half note, a quarter note, a dotted quarter note, a quarter note, an eighth note, a dotted eighth note, and a 16th note. Counting with beats. Here's how each note duration is counted in rhythm in a 4/4 timing signature. Notice the numbers, ampersand, and lowercase e and ah are used to voice beat. This is commonly used when voicing and clapping the beat and timing. In 4/4 timing, there are 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note is 1 beat. Remember, the tempo will change the speed of the music. The faster the tempo, the faster you count the beat, and the slower the tempo, the slower you count. But each note duration counts the same per beat. So let's count 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1, 2, 3 and 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3E and a 4. Dotted notes. Notes that have dots to the right are considered dotted notes. The dot adds 1/2 of the duration of the note to itself. So here we have a dotted quarter note that is played the duration of a quarter note plus an eighth note, which is half of a quarter note. Here we have a dotted half note, which equals a half note plus a quarter note. A half note plus quarter note played as one duration. This also applies to dotted half rests. We also have a dotted quarter note, which equals a quarter note plus an eighth note, and is played in one duration. This also applies to the dotted quarter rest. A dotted eighth equals an eighth note plus a 16th note, and is played as one duration. This also applies to the dotted eighth rest. Tied notes. A tie is a curved line that combines 2 notes of the same pitch to be played as one. For example, G and G. You can combine 2 half notes with a tie to be played as one whole note, or 1/2 and 1/4 to be played as 3 beats. These are just a few of the many possible combinations of tied notes. Remember, when you tie notes together, they are played as one note and one duration. This is 4/4 timing, which means that a quarter note gets 1 beat and a half note gets 2 beats. Here we have a quarter note tied with a quarter note, which is played or held as one note but for 2 beats. This is a half note tied with a quarter note and is held for 3 beats. This is a half note tied with a half note, which is held for 4 beats. And this is a whole note combined or tied with a half note and is held for 6 beats in 4/4 timing. Counting in time signatures. Here, we'll demonstrate some of the different time signatures and how they are counted. Remember, there are many different time signatures. These are some of the popular time signatures that you'll find in today's music. 4/4, which is also known as common time, is also represented with a C. We also have 2/4, 3/4, and 5/4. 2/2 is also known as cut time and is represented with this symbol with a line through it. There's also 3/2 and 4/2. And then we also have 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 9/8, and 12/8. And remember, the top number represents beats per measure, and the bottom number represents which note gets a beat. Let's take a look at some different time signatures and count off the beats. Remember, the speed or tempo affects how fast or slow the music plays, but the note durations will be the same relative to each other. We'll start off with 4/4, which means that there are 4 beats per measure and a quarter note gets 1 beat. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's count 3/4, which means that there are 3 beats per measure and the quarter note still gets the beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now 5/4. Again, there are 5 beats per measure and the quarter note gets 1 beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's 2/2, which is also known as cut time. There are 2 beats per measure, and the half note gets 1 beat. 1, 2, 1, 2. And this is 3/2, which there are 3 beats per measure, and again, the half note gets 1 beat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here, we'll take a look at 6/8 and 5/8 timing. Both have the 8th note as 1 beat. First, 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The accidentals, accidental symbols. A pitch outside of a key signature or mode is referred to as an accidental and is either a natural, flat, or a sharp. They raise or lower the pitch by a half step from the indicated note and are played that way only through the measure unless another accidental indicates to change the pitch again. We have a sharp, flat, a natural symbol, a double sharp, and a double flat. This is a sharp symbol. A sharp raises the pitch a half step up, or 1 key immediately to the right on the piano. For example, G natural to G sharp. Flat symbol. A flat lowers the pitch a half step down, or 1 key immediately to the left on the piano. For example, G natural to G flat. The natural symbol has 2 functions and can raise or lower a pitch a half step. If the note is intended to be a sharp because of the key signature or a previous sharp accidental, then the natural symbol lowers the note a half step to its natural key. If the note is intended to be a flat because of the key signature or a previous flat accidental, then the note is raised a half step to its natural key. Here's the natural key symbol. When on a sharp key, a natural lowers the pitch a half step down, or one key immediately to the left on the piano. For example, F sharp to F natural. Here's the natural for a flat key. When on a flat key, a natural raises the pitch a half step up, or one key immediately to the right on the piano. For example, E flat to E natural. The double sharp and the double flat. The double sharp raises the pitch one full step, or a full step to the right on the piano. For example, D natural to E natural. The double flat lowers the pitch one full step, or a full step to the left on the piano. For example, E natural to D natural. Here we see how a G is played as a G sharp and how an A is played as an A flat. Notice that the G sharp and A flat are the same key, which all depends on the key signature that you're in. Here we see how a G is played as a G double sharp and how a B is played as a B double flat. Again, the same key is played on the piano and is only different because of the designated key signature. If we are in the key signature of G major, all Fs in all octaves are played in sharp, or a half step up. Adding a natural symbol to an F lowers the note a half step to its natural F for that measure. If we are in the key signature of B flat major, all B and E notes are played in flat, or a half step down. Adding a natural symbol to an E or B note, no matter which octave, will raise the note a half step to its natural E and B key for that measure. Here are all the major key signatures that we'll discuss in later modules. C major, F major, B flat major, E flat major, A flat major, D flat major, G flat major, C flat major, C major, G major, D major, A major, E major, B major, F sharp major, C sharp major. When to change in an accidental. When a note is changed by an accidental, it stays that status throughout the measure, unless changed again by another accidental symbol. This also applies to notes within a key signature. Once a note is changed by an accidental, it is played that way throughout the measure, including on all octaves, unless changed by another accidental. A new measure resets the note to its original key signature designation. Here we see how accidentals change in D major. In D major key signature, all F, G, and C notes are played in all octaves as sharps until changed by an accidental symbol. At the end of the measure, all accidental changes revert back to sharp signatures. When the key signature sharps are changed with a natural sign, then you play the note a half step down to the natural key. Here's the finger chart we'll use for the proper finger usage and exercises and the suggested fingering for various songs. You'll find these numbers around the notes. Keep in mind that the suggested fingering for songs will depend on the size of your hand. Crossing over and under. When playing certain note sequences in songs, sometimes you'll need to cross over your thumb. Other times, when moving in the opposite direction, you want to cross your thumb under your fingers. Crossing with your right hand. When playing notes moving up the keyboard or to the right, you'll cross your thumb underneath your second or third finger. When playing notes moving down the keyboard or to the left, you'll cross your second or third finger over your thumb. Crossing with your left hand. When playing notes moving up the keyboard or to the right, you'll cross your second or third finger over your thumb. When playing notes moving down the keyboard or to the left, you'll cross your thumb underneath your second or third finger. Exercises and songs. A few things to remember. Practice slowly and accurately to develop proper skills. Use proper hand position and posture. We've added suggested fingering, but you can use whatever's comfortable for your hand size. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it helpful. Visit our website for content, tips, and products. And as always, practice, but make sure it's fun.